Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda, and I am here today with my October pile of possibilities. Normally, in normal months, what I do is at the end of the previous month, I will just sort of do a random number generator and pull some books off my own TBR. October, I am not going to do that. I'm probably not going to do that in November either, but we'll talk about that later. So, for October, I actually went and I specifically chose some books that I want to try to tackle in October. We'll see how it goes. Now, I'm only going to be talking about print right here. I might mention digital and ebook or audiobook at the end, but mostly I'm concerned about print. So the first book I have on my pile of possibilities is my next Agatha Christie, which is the A.B.C. Murders. So this is from the movie they did, the BBC movie with John Malkovich as Poirot, which I hear is really terrible. So now I want to see it. But after I read it. So this is just, I'm reading Death on the Clouds now. This is the next one in publication order. Last year I did Halloween Party because it was Halloweeny. It's, by the way, not Halloweeny. It's not a great mystery. But it got me prepared for Haunting in Venice, which is not at all based on Halloween Party. But you know how that goes. It's still a great movie. So yeah, this is my next Agatha Christie. So really, in October, we have two things going on. The first one is Victober, where you read Victorian literature. I've never formally, I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary so I can't say I've never done it before. This is the first full October I will have spent on booktube. And I have decided to participate in Victober, but in a very limited way. Now, for Victober, there's lots of prompts you can do, and you can find different books to do that. I'm not doing any of that. I am only reading the group read, which is The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. There is a schedule. As you can see, I've already tabbed my book up for schedules. Hopefully I can stick to it. If not, this can bleed into November. It's okay. I know I have read Trollope before. I remember reading Trollope in college. Could not tell you which Trollope it was. I know it wasn't this because it wasn't this long. But I'm looking forward to this. I've heard good things about it. But yeah, this is the only thing I'm reading for Victober. I might do something on audiobook. I might not. Audiobook, I'm going to play by ear. We'll see how it goes. Now, the other thing that's October that I am leaning into much more is spooky season. When I was a kid, I'm one of those kids that didn't really like Halloween. I like dressing up and I like trick-or-treating and I like candy, but I didn't like the scary stuff. I don't know what's happened to me, but I love the scary stuff now. I'm still not a horror movie fan, but I like reading horror novels. So I have some. The first three I'm going to talk about are actually, I have 4 here. So the 3 of the 4 that I'm going to talk about, I actually learned about from Willow at Books and Bow. She did a post on these. They sounded really interesting, so I got them. The first one is The Whistling by Rebecca Nutley. So I'll just read the back of this. I haven't read it yet, so all I know is what Willow said, so I'll just read the back. When Elspeth arrives on a remote Scottish island to become nanny to a young child, she hopes to bond with her until she learns that the girl has not spoken for months. And Mary's silence is not the only mystery. Hypnotic lullabies drift down empty corridors. Strange dolls. Oh God, strange dolls. Dolls are creepy. Strange dolls appear in abandoned rooms. And as the nights draw in, darker questions arise. And is the whistling Elspeth hears at night just the storm outside? Or is it something else? Anita Frank, I don't know who that is, says it will chill you to the bone. So this one sounds really good and creepy. The next one is... My cat is making all sorts of noise over there. The Gingerbread Man by Joanna Krantz. Corrance? This is, I do remember Willow's description of it, which this is, what's on the back is kind of long. So what I remember is that this woman is somewhere with her fiance, and like the fiance sees someone and all of a sudden just leaves his fiance and goes and lives with this woman. Then there's all these men there and they sort of don't care about it. And there's some kind of weird mind control going on. Sounded really unique to me, which is why I was really drawn to this one. This one, I do not believe I got this one through Blackwell's. I do not believe it's available in the US. I got this through bookshop.org. I think it is also, it's got a UK price on it. So I think these might not be available in the US, but I got them through Blackwell, or Bookshop. So they're not expensive to get. But this is another Highland, another Scottish one. So yeah, some more horror. And so this next one I'm really kind of interested in, and it's Hex by Thomas Olde Heuvelt. So why I'm kind of interested in this. So this is about a town in New York. I don't know if it's on Long Island. I just turned into a Long Islander there. So did you hear me? Long Island, Long Island. And there's a witch there and all this, and it's haunted by a witch. The really interesting thing is it's written by a Dutch author. And I always find it really interesting to written books that are set in the United States, but not by American authors, because I think it's just an interesting view on our culture. So I'm really looking forward to this one too. This is available in the United States, by the way, and it's Thomas Olde Heuvelt's Hex. And then finally, this is a book that I actually had on my kind of pile of possibilities for September, and I just didn't get to it, and that's fine. And that's Vampires of El Norte. Now, I'm not as excited about this book as I did when it was first announced. I really like the Hacienda. I hear this is more romance-ish, and there are vampires, but there needs to be more vampires. So I'm going in with tempered expectations with this book, but that's fine. That is perfectly fine. You know, the worst thing that can happen is it surpasses my expectations. So I do like Isabel Cañas's writing, and I am interested to see how this goes, even though I know it might not be as successful for me as the Hacienda. Now, on digital, I do have some books that are left over that are on my immediate TBR that are left over from Horror Mayhem that I did not get to. I'm thinking of What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher and The House Ocean Lane by Neil Gaiman. Those are on my Kobo ready to go. They are, I had one other book that I forgot to tell you that I am going to read. Sorry, I missed one. Let me go back to print. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. A while ago on Threads, I said, I've never read Grady Hendrix, where should I start? And everyone said this one. So I am starting with My Best Friend's Exorcism. There you go. That's my print. Now, as for digital, it could be the Neil Gaiman book. It could be What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I have some other ones on there. We'll see what comes up with that. I'm not as tied to that. I'd like to get through these print books. And then on audio, again, I'm not sure. I might do a Victorian reread. I probably won't do something I haven't already read, but I could do like a Bronte novel that I've read but haven't reread for a while. I haven't decided. I also have, speaking of Grady Hendrix, I do have the audio version of the Southern Late Book Club, the vampire slaying with the book club in the South. I should probably get the title for the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. There we go. So that is a possibility as well. I really am leaning into spooky season. That's really what I look for October. And Victober is definitely secondary for me, but that is okay. I am looking forward to this book. So yes, I also have, I left it upstairs, so I'll throw up here. This book is like Never Whistle at the Dark, I believe is what it's called. Never Whistle at Night. The title will be right there or there, whatever side. I can't remember what side it goes on. This is an anthology of horror stories written by Native authors. It technically is published on October 10th. I had pre-ordered it and it showed up at my doorstep on Friday from bookshop.org, which was my birthday because it was a birthday gift, I guess. I don't know. I've only read the first story in it, which is called, it's a word I don't know. It's like Kushtata or something like that. But it's by Matilda Zellner. Again, I should have the book right here, but I don't. But I just want to tell you that story freaking blew me away. That was an amazingly good story. And other authors that are in this are, I believe this is edited, like the famous editor. I say famous editor because, well, I'll get to that. Stephen Graham Jones, I think, is the editor, or he does the foreword or something. But like Sherry Dimmoline is in it. The guy who wrote Winter Counts, whose name I can't ever remember, is in it. There's a number of authors Rebecca Rowanhorse has a story in it. So there's a lot of authors I recognize that have stories in this, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's also a lot of authors I've never heard of, like this one who just wrote that one story that blew my mind away. when I say Stephen Graham Jones is kind of the famous editor, I had found out, like I went to coffee with some friends of mine, and my one friend, I've told you this before, because she is the editor. She is Sherry Dimoline's editor, and she edited Council of Dolls by Susan Mona Power. That one, it's been National Book Award longlisted. That woman is my friend's niece-in-law, and they all kind of live together. My friend lives with her nephew and his wife, who is this woman. So I was telling my friend, I just started this book, and she's like, yeah, that's one of Rachel's books. She edited it. So I'm so excited. And I need to tell my friends that every book I've read that I know Rachel has edited, I've loved. So she just needs to tell me whatever book she's working on, and I will read it. But I've started that. It's in the rotation for my short story. So I've only read one story so far, and it'll take me a few days to get to the next one, just because. But I would definitely recommend that book if you're looking for like horror short stories. That one, based on one story, blew me away. Speaking of short stories, I did want to say something about that, my short story project, before I go. I think my short story September, I mean, yes, I'm doing short story September, but I think it's probably going to be better accurately described as like short story third trimester, because I've started enough books and I want to finish them now that I'm probably going to be reading these short stories until the end of the year. I'm not going to continue to update them every week. I'm going to, I will maybe include them after September. I may just include them in my Friday wrap up, and I might not push myself to do one every day, but I am going to continue so I can finish out those anthologies that I have going. So those are still happening, and I do have a horror anthology in that. I don't have any Victorian anthologies, so there's no Victober there. But anyway, those are my pile of possibilities for the month of October, which is my favorite month. I love October. I love it so much. It's my son's birthday, the first week of October, so that's exciting. And then the weather is, the trees are turning and it's starting to get chilly and spooky. It's actually started to rain here, Pacific Northwest. We're getting our first atmospheric weather, which is why my hair is like a little more out of control than usual, but there you go. So anyway, what are you thinking of reading in October? Are you like a Victober person? Are you a spooky season person? Do you not really read by month or anything like that? I would love to hear it. And if you have any good non-Stephen King horror recommendations, please let me know. Nothing against Stephen King. If anything, this is a compliment. It's just that Stephen King scares the crap out of me. And I don't read Stephen King horror because he's too scary. I mean, I have my limit and he's past that limit. I will read his other books, but his horror books, I read one. I didn't sleep for 2 weeks. It was bad. It was Salem's Lot. I'm still scared by that. And I did that in college. So yeah, let me know what you're reading this October. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and come join me on my new Discord channel, because that's where some of my 2024 reading stuff is we're gonna start tracking things there, and we're having discussions, and I would like to have discussions. There's currently like 4 of us there, but I want to have more, so please join my Discord. It's all down below. Thank you so much. I know this is a little scattered brain, but I will see you in the next video, hopefully a little more on task. Bye-bye.